session we have learned about the process of photosynthesis, the essential conditions required for the process. Today we will be learning more about nutrition in plants. Nutrition is the process of absorbing the nutrition, that is intake of the food and utilization of the same. In the previous session we discussed that plants are primary producers because they produce their own food. So here we can divide the mode of nutrition into two major categories, that is autotrophic nutrition shown by the green plants. But you will be amazed to know that there are other organisms and other plants also that depend on the green plants. Like we know all animals, they depend on the plants for their food. So they are also under category of heterotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophs are the organisms which depend upon others for their food. But today I will discuss some examples of plants that depend upon others for their nutritional requirement. Here under heterotrophic nutrition, we can divide further into four categories: saprophytic, parasitic, insectivorous and symbiotic. So let's start one by one. First is saprotroph. Saprotrophs are the organisms that depend upon the dead and matter. So example, here you can see bread mold. It is the common example you can find at your homes also. Whenever we have stale bread, sometimes a layer of greenish layer or a grayish colored layer starts developing on the bread. That is bread mold. It is an example of saprotroph. They are obtaining from the surface of the bread. These organisms, they start secreting their digestive juices, their enzymes on the surface, and they absorb the nutrition from there. Another example here can be mushroom. Mushroom is also a saprotroph. Next category of heterotrophic plants is partial parasite. The word partial parasite means the organism which is dependent upon another plant for some of its needs. Here you can see the picture of a green plant, that is mistletoe. Mistletoe is a green plant. That means it has chlorophyll. It is producing its own food, but still for some of its nutritional requirements like water and some minerals, it depends upon the host plant. It generally grows upon the mahua or the mango tree, and it is not completely depending on that tree. It is partially depending, so it is called as partial parasite. Next category is parasitic plant. The word parasite means the organism which is completely dependent upon the another host organism. So here the example is dodder. You can see in the picture the plant is yellow in color. That means plant doesn't has chlorophyll. And if a plant is not having chlorophyll, that means one of the essential conditions for photosynthesis is absent. So the plant cannot do photosynthesis. The plant is not able to prepare its own food. So this plant depends upon the other host plant for its needs, for its food. Next category is insectivorous plant. Now the name itself is telling you the plants which can consume insects, which depend upon insects. They are also called as carnivorous plants. Example here is, you can see the picture of Venus flytrap and pitcher plant. These plants, they have modified structures. Their leaves are modified to form distinct structures which are capable to trap the insects. Generally they have juicy nectar inside them. They have some sticky substance to trap the insect. In a pitcher plant, the leaf is modified to form a pitcher. This pitcher has a lid at the top. You can see in the picture. When the insect sits here, the pitcher is containing lot of nectar inside it. Because this nectar is going to attract the insect. So the insect comes near to the pitcher to suck the nectar and it gets trapped. Now the cells of the pitcher, the inside cells of the pitcher, they are going to release some digestive juices which will digest the insect and the nutrition can be absorbed by the plant. Similar thing happens with Venus flytrap. You can see the structures there. When an insect sits there, these leaves, they get closed. And when they get closed, the insect is trapped, which will be digested in the same way. The enzymes will be released and the nutrition can be absorbed. Now the question arises, why are they feeding on these insects? because these plants, they grow in the soil which is deficient in nitrogen content. That is why they depend upon these insects to supplement their diet. As you can see here, these plants are green in color. They are doing photosynthesis, but still for some of their nutritional requirements, they depend upon insects. That is why they are consuming insects. They are generally found in marshy areas. Next relationship here I am going to discuss is symbiosis. Symbiosis word means the mutual interdependence of two organisms. When two organisms, they depend upon each other for mutual benefit, that relationship is called as symbiotic relationship. In the picture you can see, the first picture is showing you the picture of a lichen. Lichen is a symbiotic relationship between a fungi and a green algae. Now here the two organisms, they will have mutual benefit. What is that benefit? Green algae is having chlorophyll. He is able to do photosynthesis. So it will synthesize its own food and it will share its food with fungi, and fungi in turn is going to help him in absorption of water and minerals. So this is how they are helping each other. Next relationship here is legume and rhizobia association. Legumes are the plants, like I can give you an example, soya bean, chana, rajma, moong. These are all leguminous plants. They have the special capability in their root nodules. Root nodules are the bead-like structures present in the roots. There they give shelter to a bacterium called as rhizobium. This bacteria has the special capability of converting the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble form, which can be easily absorbed by the plant. Now the question comes, why do the plants need nitrogen? As nitrogen is available in plenty in the atmosphere. Yes, as we all know, atmosphere contains approximately 78% nitrogen. But plants cannot absorb direct nitrogen from the air. They can absorb it in soluble form. And this bacteria, rhizobium, it has the capability to convert atmospheric nitrogen into soluble forms, which can be easily absorbed by the plant. So the plant requires nitrogen for the synthesis of proteins. So here, if the nitrogenous plants are grown by the farmers do not need to add any nitrogenous fertilizer to the soil. You must be knowing that the plants, they require continuous manures and fertilizers, because when we are growing the crops continuously on a piece of land, then the soil can get deficient in nutrients. So we need to replenish the soil by adding some manures and fertilizers. But if the farmer is growing leguminous crops like chana, rajma, green moong, then he do not need to add nitrogenous fertilizer, because the bacteria is already doing the work for him. So today we have learned about the different modes of nutrition, autotrophic and heterotrophic nutrition. Then we classified heterotrophic into 4 major categories: parasitic nutrition, saprotroph nutrition, then insectivorous plants, and symbiosis. Saprotrophs are the organisms which feed on dead and decaying matter by releasing digestive juices on the surface, and they absorb the nutrition from there. Next is insectivorous plants. They have the capability to trap some insects in them, and they supplement their diet with these insects. They contain chlorophyll, they are green plants, they do photosynthesis as well. Next is parasitic plant. They depend entirely on their host plant because they don't have chlorophyll, they don't manufacture their own food. Next category is partial parasite. They are green plants, they are preparing their own food, but for some water and mineral requirement, they depend upon the other plants. Next but not the least, symbiosis. Symbiosis is the mutual beneficial relationship between the two organisms, where both the organisms are at benefit. One example is lichen, where a green algae combines with a fungi and both are benefiting. Next is legume and rhizobium association. where the bacteria Rhizobium lives in the root nodules of the leguminous plants and converts the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble forms. So the leguminous plants, they don't need to be supplied with nitrogenous fertilizers. Thank you.